Everything begins with one simple step. It seems ordinary, almost too simple to matter. But beneath that effortless movement, your body sets off an incredible chain reaction. Researchers often describe walking as flipping a hidden biological switch. The instant your foot touches the ground, countless systems inside your body spring into action. Without hesitation, your body recognizes that movement has started and immediately prepares itself to meet the new energy demands. During those first few steps, your muscles begin sending chemical messages to your brain, signaling that they need more fuel. It's a quiet request, but your body responds right away. Your heart starts beating a little faster, your breathing naturally becomes deeper, and blood flow increases to deliver oxygen and nutrients to your working muscles. It may feel like an easy stroll, but inside, your metabolism is already waking up. Almost instantly, your cells begin producing more ATP, the molecule that powers nearly every process in your body. To keep up with this increased demand, specialized enzymes responsible for processing both sugar and fat become more active, searching for the fastest and most efficient fuel source. Even if nothing feels different yet, major changes are already happening beneath the surface. One of the most remarkable things is how quickly your body adapts. Within the very first minute, your muscles become more responsive, energy-producing pathways become more active, and your entire metabolic system quietly prepares for a much larger transformation that develops as you continue walking. Later in this video, you'll see why that transition is so important. The moment you begin moving, your body enters what physiologists call an acute exercise response. This is the instant your body shifts from a resting state into an active one. At first, your cells rely on the fastest available fuel, the glucose already circulating in your blood and stored inside your muscles. This immediate energy source allows you to move without delay while your body prepares longer-term fuel supplies. Just a few minutes later, your hormones begin making subtle adjustments. Levels of adrenaline rise slightly, not enough to create stress or anxiety, but enough to sharpen alertness and prepare your body for activity. This small hormonal boost helps unlock stored energy more efficiently and signals tissues throughout your body to get ready, even if you're simply taking a relaxed walk through your neighborhood. At the same time, your muscles require more oxygen, so your lungs automatically respond by drawing deeper breaths. This increased oxygen delivery helps raise your metabolic rate, meaning you're already burning more calories than you were just moments before. Walking works with your body's natural design, gently increasing metabolism without placing excessive strain on your system. What's especially fascinating is that even while you feel calm and comfortable, your cells are operating in a completely different mode. Behind the scenes, they're gradually preparing to rely less on sugar and more on stored fat for energy. The longer you keep walking, the more this shift becomes the body's preferred strategy. And this transition from burning glucose to burning fat is one of the most impressive metabolic adaptations the human body can make. Fat cells, also known as adipocytes, are often viewed as nothing more than storage containers. In reality, they're highly active tissues that constantly communicate with the rest of your body. As soon as walking begins, these fat cells receive hormonal and nerve signals informing them that energy demands are increasing. Even before significant fat burning begins, these messages start changing how fat cells behave. As your muscles continue working, they release tiny signaling molecules called myokines. These proteins act like messengers, traveling directly to fat tissue and essentially saying, "Get ready, the body may soon need access to stored energy." This preparation is essential because it sets the stage for lipolysis, the process where stored fat is broken apart into usable fuel. Meanwhile, insulin levels naturally begin to decline during your walk. Since active muscles can absorb glucose with much less dependence on insulin, your body doesn't need to keep insulin levels as high. This matters because insulin normally acts as a brake on fat release. As insulin drops, that brake begins to loosen, allowing fat cells to release stored energy much more easily. Inside every fat cell are tiny droplets packed with triglycerides, which are the body's primary form of stored fat. Once the signal for extra energy arrives, enzymes like hormone-sensitive lipase become active. This marks the beginning of lipolysis. It doesn't happen all at once. Instead, the process starts gradually and becomes more efficient the longer you continue moving. As lipolysis progresses, each triglyceride molecule is split into 3 fatty acids and 1 glycerol molecule. These newly released fatty acids enter your bloodstream, where transport proteins carry them toward working muscles. This is the moment stored fat officially leaves the fat cell and becomes available to fuel your body. Although these events occur on a microscopic scale, they're responsible for the gradual shrinking of fat cells over time. Your muscles eagerly take in these fatty acids. Unlike glucose, which requires tighter regulation, fatty acids can move more freely into the mitochondria inside muscle cells. Once there, they enter an energy-producing process called beta oxidation. Through this pathway, stored body fat is steadily converted into usable energy. It's a slower process than burning sugar, but it's incredibly stable, efficient, and perfectly suited for sustained activities like walking. This is one of the greatest advantages of walking. High-intensity exercise depends heavily on quick-burning glucose because energy is needed immediately. Walking, on the other hand, gives your body enough time to gradually activate fat stores, transport fatty acids, and convert them into energy without overwhelming your metabolism. It creates the ideal conditions for fat to become the primary fuel source. The real magic happens inside structures called mitochondria. While they're often introduced as the powerhouses of the cell, scientists now know they're much more than simple energy producers. During a walk, mitochondria become the command centers of your metabolism. They increase oxygen consumption, generate more ATP, and carefully process incoming fatty acids with remarkable efficiency. As fatty acids move through the mitochondria, they're broken down step by step, releasing energy that powers every muscle contraction. But these tiny structures do far more than simply make energy. The entire process also generates important biological signals that strengthen mitochondrial performance over time. One of the most exciting discoveries in modern exercise science is that regular walking encourages your body to build additional mitochondria, a process called mitochondrial biogenesis. The more mitochondria your cells contain, the better they become at producing energy, supporting endurance, and maintaining a healthy metabolic rate. In simple terms, your body becomes increasingly efficient every time you make walking a regular habit. Even more remarkable, recent research suggests that mitochondria don't work in isolation. During physical activity, they actively communicate with other cells throughout the body, helping coordinate widespread improvements in metabolism, energy regulation, and overall cellular health. These tiny cellular power stations do far more than create energy. They also help regulate inflammation, improve the way your body responds to hormones, and even influence how the aging process unfolds. That means a simple 30-minute walk isn't just helping you burn calories, it's strengthening an entire network of cells that supports your health for years to come. Researchers have spent decades trying to determine when exercise begins producing meaningful metabolic changes. And again, one number stands out. Around 30 minutes. At the beginning of a walk, your body mainly depends on glucose because it's the quickest source of energy. But as you continue moving, your metabolism gradually changes gears. Instead of relying mostly on sugar, it begins drawing more heavily from stored fat. This transition isn't immediate. It develops step by step, and by about the 30-minute mark, the shift is well established. Around this time, several hormones start working together in your favor. Insulin continues to decline, making it easier for fat to leave storage. Adrenaline remains slightly elevated, helping transport fuel where it's needed, while glucagon encourages your body to tap into its long-term energy reserves. Together, these hormonal changes create ideal conditions for fat cells to release stored fatty acids. The longer your body stays in this state, the more consistently it can use fat as its primary fuel. Another important milestone happens around this same point. Your oxygen intake reaches a stable rhythm. This matters because burning fat efficiently requires a steady supply of oxygen. Once your breathing and oxygen delivery become balanced, your cells can process fat smoothly without rushing to meet energy demands. This is one reason walking is so unique. High-intensity workouts often push oxygen demand so rapidly that the body falls back on glucose for quick energy. Walking allows oxygen and fat metabolism to work together naturally, creating the perfect environment for sustained fat burning. That's why 30 minutes isn't an arbitrary goal. It's the point where your body moves beyond simply getting warmed up. Instead of preparing for activity, it's now fully engaged in burning fat, preserving energy, and making important internal adjustments. And from this point forward, your body isn't just using energy, it's improving the systems that produce it. At the beginning of any physical activity, glucose is the body's preferred fuel because it's easy to access and can be converted into energy quickly. But as your walk continues, those readily available glucose stores begin to decrease. Rather than seeing this as a shortage, your body treats it as a signal to switch to a more sustainable energy source. Little by little, your muscles begin relying more on fatty acids. This shift is carefully coordinated through changes in enzymes and hormones. The enzymes responsible for burning glucose become less active, while those that specialize in fat metabolism increase their activity. At the same time, lower insulin and slightly higher glucagon reinforce this transition, encouraging your body to make better use of stored fat. Most people never notice when this happens because there isn't a dramatic sensation. Yet inside the body, it's one of the most important metabolic changes that supports long-term fat loss. Consistency is where the real transformation happens. Every time your body practices switching from sugar to fat, it becomes more efficient at making that transition. Over weeks and months, your metabolism adapts, allowing you to access fat more easily not only during exercise but throughout the day, even while resting. This helps explain why people who make walking a daily habit often say they have more energy, feel physically lighter, and notice better mental focus. Their bodies have become better at managing fuel. Before we move on, let me ask you something. Did you know that most of the fat you lose doesn't leave your body through sweat? It actually exits through your breath. Leave a comment below and tell me whether you already knew that. I'd love to hear your answer. Once fatty acids enter the mitochondria, an incredible process begins. They go through a sequence of chemical reactions called beta oxidation, where each fatty acid is gradually broken into smaller pieces. With every step, energy is released and captured for your body's use. That energy powers everything from muscle movement to the countless maintenance tasks taking place inside every cell. In other words, the fat you've stored over months or years is slowly being transformed into the energy that keeps you moving. The smaller molecules created during beta oxidation then enter another energy-producing pathway known as the Krebs cycle. Here, even more energy is extracted. Compared with glucose, fatty acids generate substantially more ATP, making fat one of the richest and most efficient fuel sources available to the human body. As your walk continues, all of these systems begin working together seamlessly. Oxygen continuously feeds the mitochondria, enzymes keep the metabolic reactions running efficiently, and fatty acids arrive steadily from the bloodstream. This remarkable coordination is exactly why walking feels comfortable enough to sustain for long periods. Instead of depending on short bursts of fast-burning energy, your body is drawing from vast energy reserves specifically designed to support prolonged movement with less fatigue. But the benefits go far beyond simply producing energy. Efficient fat metabolism reduces the buildup of metabolic waste, improves insulin sensitivity, supports healthier hormone balance, and strengthens your body's ability to regulate energy over time. So this entire process isn't just about burning calories. Every walk teaches your body how to manage fuel more efficiently, respond better to physical and emotional stress, and build a stronger foundation for long-term health and longevity. One of the biggest myths about fat loss is the idea that fat somehow melts away or gets sweated out. The reality is much more interesting. When your body burns fat, it goes through a precise chemical process. The carbon stored inside fat molecules combines with oxygen and is converted into carbon dioxide, which you breathe out every time you exhale. Most of the fat you lose actually leaves your body through your lungs, not through sweat. The rest is converted into water, which is removed naturally through urine, perspiration, and other normal bodily functions. Fat doesn't simply disappear. It is transformed through chemistry into harmless substances that your body can eliminate. As this happens, your fat cells gradually shrink because the energy they were storing has been released and used. Little by little, those once full fat cells become smaller as their contents are broken down and carried away. These changes affect more than the number on a scale. As fat cells reduce in size, surrounding tissues often become less inflamed and regain some of their natural flexibility. That's one reason consistent walking can noticeably change your body over time, even without exhausting workouts. You're not just using stored energy, you're gradually reshaping your body's internal environment. Knowing where fat actually goes clears up many common misconceptions about weight loss. The science is surprisingly simple. Every breath you take helps remove the byproducts of burned fat. The more consistently you engage in activities like walking, the more often your body repeats this quiet but powerful process. In many ways, every step contributes to another breath carrying away stored energy. Fat cells respond to repetition, not perfection. Every walk sends another request for stored fuel. At first, the amount released is tiny and impossible to notice. But fat cells respond incredibly well to regular activity. Each walk removes just a small portion of the fat they contain, and over weeks and months, those small changes add up to significant reductions in body fat.